Yeah, copy that, Andre. Let's leave it on for these high speed on that.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Circuit de la Sarthe. It's Saturday, and we are getting ready for the 83rd edition of the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Welcome to 24 Inside, your behind-the-scenes look at everything happening here at the circuit. And this is what we've got coming up for you in this Programme 1. We'll have the highlights from warm-up, an opportunity to shake down all of the cars out on circuit, a lovely warm morning for them to do that as well. Yesterday was the drivers' parade in the centre of town, a massive crowd, and the sun came out for that as well. We've got all the best bits. And with me in the studio is Michel Bonte, a journalist who's written 10 different books about Le Mans. We're going to be speaking about Porsche at Le Mans. So, firstly, you should welcome my guest, Michel Bonte. Thank you very much for joining us. Michel is a French journalist, local journalist, and therefore we have to speak slowly to make sure you understand. Michel, how many Le Mans have you attended?
Oh, it's a long story. 45 years.
And why do you come to Le Mans 45 years ago?
I was a young student. And I look after a job, and the job was in a journalist. Donc, it was a long story between the first year and now.
And so you've seen many different stories, and you were, I'm sure, here when Ferrari and Ford were racing together.
Yes, I remember only Steve McQueen. It was my first job.
Ah, first job.
Yes, yes.
And it's brilliant then that we have Ford announcing yesterday their return to Le Mans, to the Circuit de la Sarthe for 2016 in the GTE class. And they put together a beautiful film for your enjoyment.
Le Mans, 1966. Henry Ford II attended and was given the honor of signaling the famous Le Mans start. Man against man, machine against machine. And the black number 2 Ford still holds the lead. First place, the number 2 Ford GT. Second place, the number 1 Ford GT. Third place, the number 5 Ford GT. An authoritative win for the American challengers.
Well, there you go. What an absolutely amazing film to launch. After 40 years of racing here, they return back to Le Mans in a Ford GT. Michel, how significant is this for Le Mans?
Ford back to Le Mans is a very, very good news for the race, because the duel between GM and Ford was perfect for the spectacle.
And also bringing the GT brand back. There was some talk that perhaps the car would not be a Ford GT, but a new model, but they brought the GT name, and that is also a big atmosphere for the place.
Yes, Ford in Le Mans is a very, very, very strong story.
Absolutely.
Yes, because Ford it was after Cunningham, and Cunningham is a story, the beginning of the story between USA and French.
And there is a massive fascination with Le Mans from America and across the Atlantic. They really think this is the most significant race in the world for them.
Yes, when you go to travel anywhere in the world, when you speak Le Mans, I'm coming from Le Mans, always, oh, the 24 hours, yes, because it's the beginning of the day.
When we were up in town yesterday for the parade, there were many American people very, very excited, having just come from the parade, from the launch of the Ford GT project, which was down just behind me, in fact, on the right-hand side there. And they had all come to see the launch, and then they were up in the main centre of town, where all of the drivers and teams were taken for the parade of the Grand Parade de Pilote, a very significant part of the week. A lot of people don't go up there and don't make the effort from the circuit, but it is wonderful. And here are some of the best pictures of what is becoming just the most significant part of the week for the ACO. We have, of course, each car filled with each driver, a huge amount of fans, but then there's also a massive supercar parade. There's bands playing. And you can see not one seat left unturned. This, I think, in the Place de République, which was the middle stop for the parade. And it started once again in Place de Jacobin, a very unique and significant place for the race to happen, because Place de Jacobin was where the scrutineering has taken place for a long time, but it's been renovated the last few years, so we haven't had the chance to base it in Jacobin. Just look at that. On the left-hand side there, the houses built right in the centre of Le Mans 450 to 500 years ago. And it's a lot of, many people don't really remember just how old the Le Mans centre of town is. There is the number 7 team, Andrea Lotra, Marcel Fassler on the left-hand side. And they really like to G up the crowd. Winners, of course, of the Le Mans 24 Hours for 3 different occasions, and looking to make it a 4th here in 2015. And we caught up with Anthony Davidson, who gave us his thoughts on the parade.
Until the race, how are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling okay. Nice and relaxed. I think we know where we stand. We'll just have to see how it goes. You know, we're not in a position that we can win the race on outright speed. I think everybody's aware of that. And just go through the motions of Le Mans and see where we are at the end of it.
So Le Mans, I mean, what does this race mean to you?
It mean a lot if I win it, but if I don't, probably not that much. But it's you know, the big event of the year for us. It's the one thing that you can hang on to if you don't win the championship, and I think it's globally recognised as one of the biggest single day sporting events in the world. So yeah, to win it would mean a lot, but like I say, if you don't, then you think about the next time you come back.
Toyota got a tough event this year, I think. They are the World Endurance Champions from 2014. They came here and looked strong 2 years ago, but they don't seem on the pace this year, Michel.
I'm sorry.
The Toyota team.
Toyota team. Toyota team is very good team, but I think Japanese don't pay too much for Le Mans. They are always on the reserve. It's very damaged for Toyota. I think en français, le train est passé. The occasion is back to Toyota.
So the fight for you,
yes.
You think it's Porsche versus
Yes,
Audi?
only, I think.
Okay, and yes. You've been, as we are, the reason we are here is this fantastic book, the Porsche au Mans. So you obviously are a big fan of the Porsche brand. Do you think they can win this year?
Yes, I think it's Porsche. It's the year of Porsche, I think.
It's the year of Porsche. So let's go to the book then. From 1951 to 1970, why have you decided to write and take these photos, this beautiful book?
I write this book to understand why Porsche is come to Le Mans just before the war.
Okay.
it was an occasion to explain why Porsche chose Le Mans to beginning this big story, and between the beginning and the big story of 1917, it was a very interesting story.
Absolutely. And this is your ninth or 10th book? Ninth book.
Yes, yes.
And the books before? Different things on the Le Mans mystique?
The dramatic accident of 1955.
Yeah, 1955.
And after the life of Jean Rondeau.
Yeah.
And after Yves Courage, a big artisan. Also, and this year, it was the life of Daniel Poisneau. He was the marshal of 24 Hours since 50 years.
Fantastic. And what can we expect? What did you learn from, what would we learn from the book?
Each book I learn everything, everything.
So this is a real passion
yes,
for you.
Yes, because you go to collectors, private collectors, you meet some témoins of the years. It was a very interesting story. The look for the story is always very enriching.
Well, I look forward to flicking through it more. We're going to take a little break, and then we're going to come back and have a look at the highlights from warm-up.
Faced with unpredictable weather, how do you keep danger at bay? Today, Michelin creates Cross Climate. The first tyre able to cope with unexpected weather thanks to its revolutionary performances. With the Michelin Cross Climate innovation, arm yourself for every weather condition. Michelin, a better way forward.
Why this watch? This watch has seen machines perform poetry, and memories come rushing back. It has witnessed man test his will
272 miles an hour.
and the laws of physics. It has decided fates by thousandths of a second and seen a champion knighted. It doesn't just tell time, it tells history.
Welcome back to the 24 Inside Studio. We are at the bottom end of the paddock, and so just behind me you can see the brand new Porsche Experience Centre that's been built. That would normally be where the fairground is, in fact, and then the Ford chicane behind us, and a couple of the classic machines out having their warm-up session. In fact, we've got live pictures, there we go, of a Ford GT shooting down the back straight. Wonderful to see, and a beautiful morning for racing out in Le Mans. Now, before this session began, the 55 cars that we've got now running in the Le Mans 24 Hours were able to go out for warm-up, and we were able to give you a little look at what happened. Now, nothing normally good happens in warm-up. They have a 45-minute session just to shake down the cars after a big, long rebuild on the Friday. And it's just a chance to make sure everything is in good order. Different conditions today, definitely, than they have been the last couple of years. You can see beautiful blue sky, just wispy clouds, and it is nice and hot, but nice and fresh, because we had a big thunderstorm on the Thursday evening, which was not particularly nice for those in the campsites, but certainly cleared the air. On board, and a look across the start-finishing line. And of course, we have the usual beautiful shots The super slow-mos around the Ford chicane of the cars being really punished over that part of the circuit. And it's one of those places that can really damage your car. These cars have got to last for 24 hours. And also, of course, the race beginning at 3 p.m. this year. We have to make sure the cars are in good order for that 3 p.m. start. And I can tell you that sadly there was an accident for the Loughborough competition Corvette. Now we've already lost one Corvette. The 63 car will not race because it had an accident with Jan Magnussen in qualifying and the chassis was written off. There are no other Corvette C7Rs that exist in Europe that could be used. And so Jan Magnussen, Oliver Garcia and Ryan Briscoe will not take part in the race. And then this morning, Loughborough competition sadly having an accident. And just look at that, stunning photos of the Audis coming through the chicane. There is one of the Porsches in its red livery. We've got 3 different liveries for the Porsches here this weekend. Normally used to seeing them in black and white. We've got a red and white machine, we've got a black and white machine, and then we've got the white and black number 18 car, which is on pole position with Neil Jarney, remember. This warm-up session, not significant for times, but very nice to see. So some beautiful photos and pictures of our highlights from the warm-up session. As I said to you, Loughborough competition sadly having a large accident out on circuit. The Corvette was literally just brought in behind me just a few moments ago and did not look in very good order. So a news story developing on circuit. Remember, if you want to watch anything that's happening on track live, you can't catch it here, but you can catch it on our app. Free to download, you'll give you live timing and scoring. You also get the certain videos that the team are creating for your enjoyment. And if you want then to show the actual live pictures with live British commentary, then you can download that from the app at a cost of about €10. A very worthwhile investment if you're looking to watch everything from lights to flag throughout the 24-hour period. And also it's got very good commentary because my father does it. We are now going to take a look at one of the parts of the circuit, one of the most significant parts of the track, the end of the long Mulsanne Straight with Jan Mardenborough.
Hi, I'm Jan Mardenborough. I race for Nissan in LMP1 and this year is going to be my 3rd Le Mans. So we're at Mulsanne Corner. This is my favourite corner at Le Mans. I like the high speed braking. We're in 5th gear in the Nissan LMP1 car, arriving at maybe 330 kilometers an hour. The braking zone is very difficult. There's a curve just before the braking zone, which makes it takes a lot of time and laps for yourself to build up to the braking zone. There's not a lot of runoff on the exit, so it's a really exciting corner for the drivers to nail the braking and to get the corner right. It's very satisfying. So guys, make sure to join us on the 30th of June for the start of the race. You can keep up with all the progress of all the teams with Nissan using the hashtag LM24 on Twitter.
And Jan Mardenborough saying the 13th of June, sounded like the 30th to me, which is today. And of course the start of the 24 hours, 3 p.m. local time. Really looking forward to seeing this battle in the LMP1 class between Porsche and Audi. And we've got Aston Martin on pole position in the GT Am and GT Pro. And they look like they've got the upper hand in terms of one lap pace, but do they have the upper hand in terms of a 24-hour period? Now, another of the men who was particularly celebrated up at the Drivers' Parade the other day, I was sitting without even seeing the piece where the cars were going, and I knew that this man was coming up because I heard a scream from a long way away, and it got bigger and louder as it came towards us, and it was, of course, Mr. Patrick Dempsey, McDreamy, the actor from Grey's Anatomy, now very much a professional race driver.
We had a great relationship in 2009, and it's very important to us to have consistency with that in the great work that they've done over the years and continue to do. It's really important for us all at Spider and certainly Proton Dempsey Racing to continue on and support that. It's a tremendous opportunity, and this is a great way to bring awareness not only to the charity but to all of us at the sport. And you know, it's a tremendous place where a lot of people care deeply about the kids here and wanting them to do well. We have a charity, sort of like a fundraiser type of thing, which is an auction with these jackets. Only 12 were made. This is the male version, and JJ, our designer, has the female jacket, which are really cool. Leather's great, quality's fantastic, and it sort of represents everything that the charity is as well. Rendezvous at Le Mans. Help us raise money for this great charity, please.
And Patrick Dempsey doing his thing, as the video said, for our charity here for Hearts for Children. And it's great to see that he's created that jacket for our charities. Many charities here at Le Mans. If you're on circuit or coming to the track, then make sure you get involved with all those. Now, there's a big day for Le Mans. We have the French president coming to the circuit, probably landing just behind me, in fact, in a few hours' time to watch the start of the race and to send everyone off on their way. It's a huge moment in Le Mans, and it's been a long time since it happened. In fact, the last time was 1972. And here are some of the pictures of that famous day.
En compagnie du président Lelièvre, ils vont faire la connaissance de ceux qui assument la responsabilité de l'organisation de l'épreuve.
This was the President Georges Pompidou in 1972. And you can see that, in fact, the scene along the start-finishing straight is not that different to today. Grandstands absolutely rammed. And certainly the French competitors very excited to meet the drivers and each other, as well as, of course, the President Pompidou in 1972, Hollande in 2015.
Les 55 concurrents vont partir pour le tour de reconnaissance, ou plus exactement, le tour de lancement. Derrière la voiture pilote du directeur de la course, les concurrents 2 par 2 selon les meilleurs temps aux essais. Dans l'ordre, les 3 Matras, Vert Pescarolo Beltoise, puis une Alpha Stomlen, une Lola Bonnier, 2 Alpha et la 4e Matra.
And that's another interesting fact, that this was the very first time that they actually started the race 2 by 2 rather than in the traditional Le Mans start. As you can see, the cars filing away, as we would expect to see in modern day motorsport. And it's nice to know that the WEC and the ACO have gone back to the traditional Le Mans start with all the cars lined up against the wall. Now, the race doesn't start at that point, but they do pull off for some formation laps. So it keeps that spirit of Le Mans alive within the World Endurance Championship and also within Le Mans itself. So a very exciting day here. We've got cars out on track doing the practice session for the old classic race. Look at that, fantastic stuff. And this, another reason why many people still come to enjoy the race, even if they're not fans of modern day motorsport. They can have a retrospective on the classical days of Le Mans. 83 editions of the race, over 90 years of history at the circuit, and some of the route is exactly the same as it was when these cars were racing in period. In fact, I think we're just going into the Porsche curves, so they're turning away now from what used to be the circuit, blasting through towards Maison Blanche. This, a relatively new part of the circuit built in the 70s and slightly modified for this year to make it even safer. This is sadly the barrier where the Corvette has ended the weekend, and hopefully the Labre guys are now fixing that car, getting ready. It's wonderful to see these cars on circuit, and if you want to see anything from the Le Mans 24 Hours, make sure you download our app. Go to the App Store, type in Le Mans 24, and it should be there for your enjoyment. Absolutely free, with live timing and certain app videos, and if you want to watch the race itself with British commentary, then you can pay. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back in a couple of hours' time for a new edition of this 24 Hours Inside program. We've got guests throughout the day, including David Richards and even Jean Todt. So we'll see you in a few hours.
The 24 Hours of Le Mans mobile app. Total immersion in the heart of the world's greatest endurance race. All the teams and drivers, the timing, the classification, and countless videos on demand. With the app's live option, you don't miss a thing. You not only get streaming TV wherever you are, but also the choice of onboard cameras. Be among the connected crowd. Download the 24 Hours of Le Mans app today.
Yeah, copy that, Andre. Let's leave it on for these high speed on that.
Thank you guys.
Les 24 heures du Mans comme vous ne les avez jamais vues. 24 heures Inside est la chaîne de l'événement. Pénétrez le cœur de la plus grande course d'endurance au monde. Découvrez les coulisses et les histoires qui font la légende. Rencontrez les acteurs et les fans. 24 heures Inside parce que l'événement est aussi autour de la piste. Le journal des 24 heures sur vos tablettes, téléphones et ordinateurs.